Hello and welcome to another episode of the Roach Coach Podcast, the journey to create the new metal canon. My name is Lauren Kozlowski. With me, as always, the original Roach Rider, Mr. Matt Nas.
Keep it rolling, baby.
Matt, we are keeping it rolling here on the Roach Coach Podcast, creating this new metal canon, one album at a time.
It's September, baby.
I cannot believe it, Matt. It's like are we in the twilight of 2024?
Dude, back 40, as it were.
Back 40. And are you ready for fall? Are you still in that summertime vibe?
Dude, look at this. Look what I'm wearing right here.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, for the podcast listeners, you're going to see me just, you're going to see with your mind's eye a flannel.
Matt, you're flanneling up. You're
Yeah.
ready. You're ready to get some cocoa. You're ready to warm up and
Give me
go.
those crisp autumn nights.
Matt, you're just waiting for that crunchy leaves sound, aren't you?
Dude, give me some boots, crunching some leaves. Give me a girl that loves PSL.
There you go. Well, Matt's ready for the fall, but there's
My
still.
wife fucking hates pumpkins.
Well, Matt, you just put out the call, so watch your
Real
DMs.
siren song.
Watch your DMs.
Yeah, watch this ship crash into the rock.
Right. Matt, while it is fall, we still have plenty of year left and plenty of new metal to come. So much to come. And this week on the show, we're talking all about who's tweeting.
Who's tweeting?
That's right. We're going over feedback. We're going over questions. We're going over roach recommendations, emails, all that good stuff. But first, we have to talk about something that happened a little bit ago, about a month ago. And we did not talk about it because we were, and I want you to just count this off, everybody. We were pressing the flesh at Louisville Loves New Metal.
Sure were.
We were meeting Fred Durst in person and talking to him for 5 straight minutes.
Yep. I'm never gonna still riding high on that.
We're gonna ride this one for a while. We were.
You're tired of it? Sorry.
Get ready to keep hearing about it forever. Yeah, we also had
Dear Roach Coach, although I initially enjoyed the fact that you met Fred Durst, at this point, fucking stop mentioning it.
You know what? That sounds like somebody who hasn't met Fred Durst and talked to him for 5 minutes. That's what that attitude sounds like to me. I'm with that guy every day.
Twist.
It would be a twist. It would be a twist. You know, I've been listening to your show in secret, and you guys talk about my friend too much. And I talked to him.
Stop.
I talked to him for longer than 5 minutes, and you don't hear me talking about it. And it's like, that's true. That's true. But and also, I was in the pit at Slipknot. These are the things that were going on. Thus, we missed this news. It's not new metal related, but it's definitely Roach Coach related. And that is that Aerosmith is retiring.
Oh man. How did it hit you? How did it hit you, Lauren?
My first thought, which was when I went on Twitter and searched it to see if anyone else had the same thought, which was Bobo honks no more. That was my first thought. Many like-minded people had the same thought. And it was interesting to see people sort of eulogize the Aerosmith experience, their history as a band. I thought good friend of ours, and we'll just call him Mr. Duffy, plays in a band with Sweet Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
And he basically had, been digging in his basement, and he posted on Instagram that he found a VHS copy of Get a Grip. And he said he put it on, and he said, it does not hold up. And then he said,
he has a VHS copy of Get a Grip.
No. He has a cassette.
Oh, okay. You said VHS.
Did I say VHS?
You
know
did.
What? I got that Mitch Sosha, VHS Detroit thing on my mind. I know he had a cassette copy of Get a Grip, and he said it did not hold up, and that did not surprise me.
No,
all.
Not at all.
And it made me think about the legacy of them beyond just what we had covered on the show. And I listened to some other podcasts where people were trying to sort of it felt like kind of wrestle with the legacy of Aerosmith. And ultimately, I think about them, and I think about a lot of other bands. And I think the one thing that I'll give them props for is the fact that Honkin' on Bobo is 2004?
Yeah.
Right? It's like a 20-year-old album. They have not inflicted anything else on us. And Honkin' on Bobo also was covers. So I think the last, like, original, like, album from them was probably Just Push Play in, like, 2001. So they've been the legacy band for a while, and I can't be mad at them, but it was one of those things where I read that I was like, you know, thank you for, respecting each other's health, realizing what you needed to do, but I'm not feeling mournful. I'm feeling more like, finally.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like their last studio album was Music from Another Dimension in 2012, which
And
looks kinda like
never heard
Hatter.
I've never heard of this. I've never heard
Never
of this.
heard of it. Love Triple X. Oh, yeah, beautiful. Tell me, Out Go the Lights, Legendary Child. I mean, just Aerosmith hit after Aerosmith hit. Everybody knows these. Street Jesus, Can't Stop Loving You with Carrie Underwood. Love Her a Lot, We All Fall Down, Freedom Fighter, Closer, Something, Another Last Goodbye. Came out November 6th, 2012. 15 songs deep, an hour and 8 minutes. Not respectful of our time.
You know, there are I have never heard of this. This is crazy. I wasn't even aware of this when I was doing research for Honkin' on Bobo. I just miss this album cover I've never seen before. Wow.
This album cover is top tier trash. Like, it's trying to be an old B movie horror film. Yeah, bad. Bad.
I don't like anything that I'm seeing here, Matt. I don't like anything. Honestly, the fact that it's 67 minutes and 59 seconds might be the worst detail, but also the fact that I've been living blissfully unaware of this thing until this very moment. Um Very, yeah, and also there's a song called "Lover a Lot." Ooh, boy. Alright, anyway, Aerosmith, they're done.
Here is the contention, or here is the request. So I had dialogue on Facebook, I want to say, with a Roach Rider for Life whose name I can't find here. I can't find the dialogue at this
Okay,
particular moment,
uh-huh.
but he's saying, can we put in the new metal junk drawer when a band breaks up that they have honked their last Bobo? I believe that was the request.
I mean, I don't know if that would be a junk drawer thing. I think it would just be he's asking that if a band breaks up, we say they've honked their last Bobo.
Yes, let's say it's that.
See, the thing about that, though, is that when you honk your last Bobo, I feel like you have to have been honking Bobo previously, and I feel like we all know what honking on Bobo means. And I feel like for any given band, if they're a band of any repute, they will have their own, you know, their own thing to say about them.
Here it is. I found it. If you Andrew Scott sent this through Instagram and said, "The Bobo shall be honked no more." This is like the total inverse of the Roach Coach bump. And I'm like, that I will put in the junk drawer to be used only when needed or to be
Okay.
lost in there.
All right.
But
Now I just want to ask real quick, is this BAFTA award winning actor Andrew Scott? Is that who we're talking about? Who recently played
yes,
Ripley?
of
Wow.
course.
Andrew, thank you so much for listening to the show. I know a lot of people are huge fans of you who love your work on Fleabag. And thank you so much for being a roach rider. I truly appreciate it. I haven't seen All of Us Strangers. I've been told it's a mixed bag. But if you ever want to come on and talk new metal, please come on, Andrew Scott, who I'm sure is the actual actor. I'm sure that's who it is.
Yep.
Uh
Well, the
so
Bobo shall be honked no more.
shall be honked no more. Matt, we got some emails.
Mm,
Let's talk about who's emailing.
who's emailing?
We got an email from Matt Traband,
Love it.
and there was no subject to this email.
Perfect.
He said, I randomly had a professional murder music song stuck in my head. Not sure why, them of all bands, and went to pull them up on Spotify. When I did, I saw your podcast episode on them, so decided to listen to that instead. I was on my way to my uncle's viewing, and although I was pretty bummed about his unexpected passing, I found myself laughing the whole trip up and back as I listened to your podcast the whole way there and back. I've been listening to the podcast on my trips to and from work ever since. My job sucks, so it's nice to be able to laugh and not hate life to and from work. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I find myself agreeing with you all on most albums, but even when I don't, you always have valid reasons that make me wonder if my ears are just broken. Don't judge me, but I loved that Dead Z album, damn it. Okay, no judgment. I was excited to see you review the Loathe album. My wife got into them knowing that Deftones are my favorite band. Sorry, my wife got me into them knowing that Deftones are my favorite band. To me, it was a bit of metalcore, a bit of maybe an ISIS or band along those lines, and of course, Deftones. Great album, but not really new. I stumbled across a band recently that also is along these lines. You should check it out. I'm interested to see what you think. And then he includes a link. And then he says, P.S. From one Matt to another, I love industrial and I'm going to send you a ton of industrial metal that may or may not be a little new.
Love it. Love hearing it.
Matt, thank you so much. Matt loves to hear from other Matts. And unlike me, who anytime I meet another Lauren, I say, how dare you?
You can't have my Instagram handle.
You cannot have my Instagram handle. That's part of it. You know, every
That's
Lauren I meet,
usually how you meet other Laurens.
other Laurens, they're so hostile. Like, get over it. I got it first. Relax.
Gunning
Jeez.
for you.
I know.
Once again, the price is a cool $1 million.
That's the price that you and other people have picked. I will tell you, I don't know if I brought this up on the show.
You
That I
haven't.
mentioned. Okay. Well, I went to visit my sister, and she lives in Colorado. I went to visit my sister back in May, and I brought up just offhand that because I think my brother-in-law was asking me why my Instagram is private, and I said, well, it's because I get all these people harassing me if I open it up and try to hack my profile because I have Lauren at Lauren, and they're always like they get my DMs, they want to buy it, and he goes, how much are they offering? And I said, oh, I would never. And he's like, how much are they offering? And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't do it. He's like, you would. He lost his mind. He was so mad that I have not picked a number and offered it or even considered a number. And I was like, I just don't see. There's just no, I wouldn't do it. And he was very mad. He talked about it the entire rest of the trip. He was very mad at that I have not humored a number. He was like, there's a number. There's a number. I was like, no, there's no number. There's no number. Now, Matt, you fielded $1 million. $1 million is very nice, but I feel like I don't believe there are any $1 million millionaire Laurens who would pay $1 million for an
Okay.
Instagram handle, and I don't think it's worth it. I don't think an Instagram handle is worth what it was.
10K.
10K?
10K. Would you do it for 10K?
No, no.
Too little, too much.
I don't know why. When you said that, I was absolutely my body recoiled. Like, no, absolutely not. No.
100K.
No, I just can't do it. I can't do it.
Okay.
I can't.
This is a life-changing amount of money, you understand, right? Like,
Dude, here's the thing though, is that you and my brother-in-law, everyone is always bringing up these numbers. These numbers have never been presented because everyone who's in my DMs about this,
they just want it for nothing.
they want it for nothing. They want me to give it to them, or they say something like, "We can talk it through." And I was like, no one has ever slid in and said 100K,
No one's,
15K.
and the
No
truth
one,
is, no one will. But
no one will because they don't have any money. They're named me, okay? All right? They have no money. Anyway, digression there. But Matt, I got to tell you, whoever has at Matt on Instagram is probably a floor mat guy. Probably. More
hope so.
likely. Hope
Because,
so.
boy, the mats are ruthless.
Very much so. But thank you so much for sending that over to us. I'm glad that we were able to entertain you on what sounds like a pretty heavy day and entertain you on your way to work. So much appreciated. Thank you so much for listening. And
Oh, he sent us Mood Ring. I feel like we've heard Mood Ring.
okay, let's hear.
You want to hear a couple seconds of Mood Ring here?
Hear a couple seconds of Mood Ring.
This is Disintegrate, my Mood Ring. I thought they were industrial. Obviously, they're not. They're much more in that Loathe family tree of
Yeah.
modern kind of
Yeah.
shoegazy.
Yeah, definitely. I got a big shoegazy vibe. I got very. I mean, honestly, aptly named because I was like, this is moody.
Yeah.
This is creating a mood. Not that heavy. I
Nope,
didn't think they were that heavy.
but I didn't mind
Uh,
that.
nah,
Not a Roach Coach thing, I would say.
right. Yeah, I
Kind of
got it.
a Matt outside of Roach Coach thing.
Yeah, well, when it started, I had this brief moment where I was like, "This better not be a sleep token situation." But
Mm.
eagle-eyed listeners will notice that we got to a chorus and things happened in the song. It was pretty interesting to
Yeah,
listen
there was, like,
to.
forward movement.
Forward movement, things were going along. How long is the song, Matt?
Oh, 4 minutes total.
4 minutes total. See? They get in, they get out, they get it done. Sleep token, they'd still be figuring out where their sticks are, man. All right? You know what? I
I
think
love this sleep token shit talk so
Man,
much.
well, I was thinking about it, what Sleep Token's problem might be, and I looked at their masks, and I don't know where the eye holes are, and I bet you they don't either. So who knows? They're just
Oh,
fumbling
it's just
around
that
up
they
there.
can't see their
They
instruments.
can't see a goddamn thing. They can't at all, you know? And then it's on their face, they're figuring out where they're looking around. And then while it's going on, everyone in the audience is just, cutting farts left and right. So then that's a problem. So then they're like, well, I can't take it off because if I take it off, I'm going to get hotboxed by all the farts in the air. So I got to keep it on for there, but also I can't see anything. And then they're just like, I'm just going to let that guy warble on the piano for 6 to 12 minutes. And then they eventually figure it out. They find their instruments. They're crawling around. And honestly, if you've been to a Sleep Token show, you know this, that a lot of the show is them crawling around on stage like they're Velma who lost their glasses in Scooby-Doo. And then they find their instruments and they pick them up, and then that's when the drop happens. And that's really a big moment. Like, you sit there and you're just like, in the audience, you're like, I think that bassist is about to find his bass. Oh no, he missed it. He went too far. He went too deep.
Too
He's
deep.
coming back. He's coming back. Yeah. And then people in the audience will yell things like, "You're so close. Getting warmer. Getting warmer." Because they're committed to the bit. They won't take the mask off to easily see the things. So, and
Yeah, they can't.
anyone who writes me in to say this is not what a Sleep Token concert is like, I don't care. Thank you so much, Matt,
It is
for
now a
sending that over
feature,
to
not
me.
a bug.
That's right, baby. That's right. Matt, we got a DM
Yeah,
from Fearless Photog,
love that,
and
love that.
it's an excerpt from a street assault interview with one Mark Rizzo. Matt, do you want to be Mark or do you want to be street assault?
Oh, can I be street assault, please?
Absolutely, Matt.
Street assault. What's up with the backpack? Does it have any significant, or is it just a trademark of Mark Rizzo? Do you have bottles of Yoo-hoo in there that you're shaking up for when you get off stage?
Ultimately, it's a Mark Rizzo trademark, but I'm getting tired of it now. It just got too big, haha. Not size wise, but legacy wise. From the first tour I've ever done, I would get more questions about what's in the backpack than I would about my guitar playing. I'm sick of the backpack for now. Maybe one day it will come back. Until then, you can view it at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right next to Ziggy Stardust boots. Haha. Okay, so he did not answer the question of what's in the backpack. He
Right.
just answered the question that he gets tired of being asked what's in the backpack, which means that I have a feeling that they were more right about the Yoo-hoo thing than they thought.
I think they're close.
They're close. They're close. I say, and I'm going to open this up to the Roach Riders and Indigo Angels to let us know. What do you think's in Mark Rizzo's backpack? Clearly, the Yoo-hoo thing struck a nerve. Clearly, he's tired of getting asked about it, but he does not want to reveal what it is. So I have a feeling that it's snacks. That it's snacks and maybe a neck pillow for when he's traveling. But what type of snacks? What type of snacks does Mark Rizzo, former Soulfly guitarist, current El Nino guitarist, have in his backpack? Matt, start with you. What do you think Rizzo's snacking on?
Oh, big beef jerky guy.
Okay.
Slim Jims, Jack Link, just a backpack chock full of dried meat.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. All right. I am going to say that I think Mark Rizzo is a Cheez Its man.
Ooh.
I think he loves a Cheez It. And I think he's got a stock in there. Now, as far as beverages are concerned,
Mm.
I have a feeling that he's like a fancy water guy. Like he somehow in his early touring days, somebody got him into fancy waters, fancy mineral waters, and now he's just like can't get enough of it. So he's probably got a fancy mineral water in there. So that is
Oh,
my
yeah.
guess.
He's got, like, that glass bottle one.
Mhm. Yep.
I forgot what that
Absolutely.
one was called,
Yeah.
but that one.
Yeah,
Super fancy.
super fancy. So that's my guess.
Do
So
you think he
to
has a book in there?
you know what? I have a feeling that he's doing so much traveling that he probably has a Kindle.
Ooh, a Kindle.
Probably has a Kindle, and so he's always loading it up. And yeah, that's my guess that he's a Kindle guy. So I think he's a Kindle guy, or maybe he has an iPad that he uses to watch movies and also uses the Kindle app.
So besides Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Repair, what has he got loaded on that thing?
Oh, besides that, well, I like to think that he probably has a digital subscription to Guitar World magazine that he reads on there. And for books, I want to say that he heard about Infinite Jest, downloaded it as a joke, started reading it, got frustrated, keeps coming back every now and again, but he has not finished it yet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
gotta
And
ask. Gotta ask.
okay, man,
Moby Dick, how
I
are we
haven't
doing?
I haven't finished it yet, but I wanna let everybody know that I did take a break from it, and I read Blood Meridian
But we
by
we did
Primer
get that update.
yes, I finished Blood Meridian this week.
Okay, Blood Meridian was like Moby Dick amped up.
Well, here's the funny thing. So, I was reading it and I was like, "Yeah, getting some Moby Dick vibes from this book." And I was like, "But is this like a Boss Baby situation?" Like, I was only reading Moby Dick and now I read this other book, and of course all I'm seeing is Moby Dick in this other book. Anyway, I was reading about Blood
This
Meridian.
I love this Boss Baby paradox keeps getting
Keeps coming back up. Yeah, the Boss Baby tweet. It's an evergreen tweet. And so I was reading like critical stuff, reading the Wikipedia for Blood Meridian after I finished it to see what people had to say about it, critics, whatever. And I found multiple critics said the only comparable book to Blood Meridian is Moby Dick. So really, I stopped reading Moby Dick to read a thinner Moby Dick because I can tell you it's just as dense. It's just way more violent and honestly more upsetting. Here's the thing. Think about this. They're having a better time in Moby Dick than anyone is having in Blood Meridian. Okay.
Queequeg is having a fucking ball comparing.
Listen, those guys, they're on the water and sometimes they just get to sleep and no one like murders them in their sleep. Okay. All right.
They all seem to be on the same team in the
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
on the Pequod.
There's sometimes there's just chapters everyone's just chatting. In Blood Meridian, like, yeah, it's top to bottom bloodshed. It's wild. And then you get to the end and you're just like, well, that's horrific. So yeah. So anyway, I don't believe though that Mark Rizzo is reading either of those books. So yeah.
I have to say it while it's here in this moment, Fearless Photog is such a great name.
Hmm.
Love that very much
Hmm.
as an old school Masters of the Universe guy. But I got news. I got news.
What's your news, Matt?
I sold my collection. I sold them all. I made
Wow.
sure that they got a good home and they are out of the house. And I
Okay.
said goodbye to my original stuff. I got money for the trip that I took out of it, but yeah, it was one of those things where I had high expectations that I was going to sell them all through eBay
Hmm.
and like really milk every cent out of it. So I tagged and bagged all of them, categorized all of them, had everything written up. And then it was 5 months later and I hadn't listed a single one. And I was like, yeah, you're not doing it, are you? Let's just go to the store and take whatever offer they give you. That's going
Wait,
to be.
who'd you take it to? Time Travelers?
I took it to a Nerd Out Detroit.
Oh,
He gave me
okay.
a fair price for the market. I mean, he's going to be sitting on a lot of these for a long time.
Well, Matt, I got it at 15K,
I wish
100K.
100K.
Thank you.
It's
All
the
right, good.
only thing I would do it for.
Absolutely. Good. All right. I'm glad somebody's taking 100K with it.
Life changing amount of money.
Life changing amount of money. Well, well done.
For everybody
Uh,
who doesn't know the history behind Fearless Photog, look it up because it is Mattel totally screwing a kid over and then 30 years later making it right. So it's
wow.
pretty awesome.
There we go. We got a message, Matt, on Spotify
Ooh.
from one Kimberly Farr. She commented on our episode all about the Deftones self-titled album, well, all the way back at episode 196, and she said, "Love this record," and then she told us to check out a band called Clown, and their album called Pimp. Now, I'm pretty sure that this band and album have been recommended to us before, but when I
Yes.
went to the long list, it was not on it. So it is officially on it now. Do we want to hear a little bit?
I think so. I think
Okay.
I have you any recollection of Clown?
All I remember, if I'm remembering right, is that what we heard of it, we were like, "Mm, it's pretty fucking new metal." That's pretty much all I remember.
And yeah, I re-listened to the song Pimp by Clown, and yeah, you're gonna hear it. And let's play that. This is Pimp by Clown. Okay. Okay. It is pretty new, but also a disaster. Wow. They obviously did not play to a click.
No, they did not. I'm looking at the album cover now. The album cover screams, "Listen to me. You must listen to me." And maybe we will. Maybe we will. Kimberly, thank you so much for this recommendation. Much appreciated. Next up, man, we got a tweet. It's from Mikey Hodge.
Oh, hell yeah. Mikey Hodge comes in with got a big thrift in the mail today. One of my favorite CDs back in the day. If you ever do live concert recording summer, toss this one on the list. And it's a copy of Pledge of Allegiance, System of a Down, Slipknot, Mudvayne, No One, American Head Charge. Man, this cover looks familiar.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was like, did we do this one? But we have
It
not.
it feels like we did, but we didn't.
We didn't do this one. And indeed, yeah, I looked it up. It's a short one. It's like 10 tracks from this Pledge of Allegiance tour that happened. I think it's like a post Tattoo the Earth pre Ozfest situation, it looks like slip right there in the middle. I got to tell you though, seeing System, Slipknot, and Mudvayne, that's like prime time for them. Like I'm
Yeah.
sure that was killer. We haven't done a live, we haven't done live albums in a while, but those were some fun ones to do. Certainly, our famous Family Values Summer all timer series. All those episodes are great. And maybe we do that again. I mean, listen, there's Ozfest albums we haven't done yet, Matt. And even though people say, "Oh, these are just songs that we already know," what about banter? What about stage banter? Okay, anyone who listened to our episode with Kevin Kenny knows that there is a moment on, I believe that was an Ozfest, where the guy just stops the song and says, "I want you to look at the person next to you and kill them." I
That's
mean, like
correct.
there's some gold in them hills, and there might be some wild banter to consider. So, thank you, Mikey Hodge, for the recommendation. I'm going to add that one to the long list as well. Next up,
Yes, and I believe this is gonna be another situation where the streaming services are gonna let you down because I just found on Spotify, but it's somebody actually cobbled it together, so it's not the live tracks. So you're probably gonna have to scoop one of these up if you don't already have it.
Matt, are you telling me that I'm gonna have to go onto eBay, brave them streets of
Digital
eBay?
Streets?
Listen, I was born there. I was raised there. All
Oh,
right.
forgot.
Okay.
I forgot I'm talking to the bane of new metal.
Listen, yeah, that's right, Matt. Yeah, and I will break the back of a deal.
Mwah.
Thank
Chef's
you.
kiss.
Thank you. We have a message. We got a DM, big old DM from Aaron, who said, "Howdy. I messaged y'all a long time ago to express my adoration of your show. Long time fan. The 311 and Dark Horse apps always make me smile at work. And I
So
want to
glad.
preface this by saying that I'm not at all expecting y'all to like showcase us on your show because I wouldn't expect us to be canon worthy at all, LMAO, but I play guitar in a band called Watership Down."
Great name. That book slash movie of that book screwed me up hard.
Perfect. Well, Matt, listen to this. We're a modern metalcore band, but we also have deathcore, shoegaze, and most essential of all, new metal influence to us. We self produced and dropped a record last year that we're endlessly proud of called Death is a Dignitary. And I just want to share one or two songs that might scratch your itch. I was excited to share it with you while I was working on it because you guys helped me fall back in love with new metal. And he sent us a couple songs and saying that he just wanted to give something back. Well, thank you so much. So, the song we are going to listen to today by Watership Down is called Half Life, but it's not spelled that way. It's half li, and then the F is in parentheses, and then out of the parentheses is another E. Feels very new metal already.
All right, I have located it, and here we go, buddy.
Let's talk about this screaming guy, okay?
We got double vote. Who was Bob Rock in the booth saying double it?
Double it, double it. If you don't get that reference, you got to listen to the pact. But listen, this screaming guy, I don't know if he is a giant man overtaking the soft spoken person or if he's a little guy because that was the vibe I get from this is that the other guy's in the mic and he's got his lyrics and then on his shoulder is like the screaming guy
Just bouncing around.
bouncing around and he's like just screaming everything and they're just like this guy's out of control and they're like sorry he's in the band we can't do anything about it and he's just but then he's the star. He's the star. I want to know everything about him. I love him. Everything is just he's just all over the place. I just love the screams. They're so visceral. And then you get to the drop and I was like, okay, we had that heat. I definitely hear what you're talking about. There's a lot of different sounds going on in there. I definitely hear the deathcore. I'm hearing the new metal, but I want to know more about Screaming Guy. And I don't want to know his real name. I want to only know him as Screaming Guy. That's just incredible work. I just immediately when he was screaming on top of the other vocals, I was like, that's the stuff right there. Because if it was just a screaming guy and no one underneath, we've been there. We've done that. We've
Oh
seen
yeah.
that. We've seen it. You know? And it's also it's because my first thought, man, I don't know if you thought this, was like Blood Brothers, you know? But Blood Brothers is really just two screaming guys, you know? It's just that one guy's a low scream and one guy's a high scream. But in this one, it was like, what if we have a normal talking guy and then we have a screaming guy? And I'm in love. I love Screaming Guy. He's great. Watership Down.
All right, here we go. They have a band camp.
Okay.
Watership Down, all is one word.
Okay.
Around 2019, we got together, started writing a set of songs that will eventually form this EP. We released it May 6th, 2023. Ross Faulkner, vocals, words. Aaron Bilbrey, guitar, backing vocals. Jared Harrison, drums. Corey Kesty, bass.
So I guess Ross is my Screaming Guy.
I'm going to say that's your screaming guy.
Ross, incredible work. Incredible work. Yeah, I'm gonna check out this whole album. Yeah, because I love the Screaming Guy. I love
Dude,
him.
let's give it the old Roach Coach bump, 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 bump.
Bump it up. Bump it up.
The number
Check.
one, I feel like a double dip. I feel like a double dip is necessary because
Okay,
there was
man.
a moment there that I was like, I don't know if I'm into this. I'm gonna be honest. There was a
Okay.
moment I was like, I
Uh
don't
huh.
know if I'm into this.
Hmm.
And then they hit me again, and I was like, I might be into this. Hit me one more time. All right, this is the number one song on Spotify. This is "You Left a Void." Here it comes. Here it comes.
It's like he dropped out of the ceiling.
All right, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I had to double dip because I, if you were looking at my face and you were kind of
Mhm.
like, Is Matt into this?
I
But
don't know if
no,
Matt's
that
sold yet, but
I kind of feel like you get that rock smog kicking. You got those
mhm.
guitars going, and then that happens and then from the ceiling.
Ross drops out of the ceiling, starts screaming. Yeah, I don't know. My first thought was that he was hanging off the ceiling like a spider, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Which, I don't know what his spider vibe is. I don't know what his build is. I don't know. But I'm in. I'm into Watership Down. I'm into the screams. I'm into the that I into that mood. You know what? I love it when you set a mood and then you're like, hold on. Let's get Ross up the ceiling. We gotta get some screams in.
Yeah, we gotta get some screams going.
Gotta get some screams in there. So thank you so
Cookeville,
much.
Tennessee. That's where they're from, Cookeville.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Well, Aaron, thank you so much for sending that our way, and shouts to everybody in Watership Down. Next up, we have a DM from Jeremy Smith.
Ooh.
And he said, I could have listened to a 4-hour podcast about your Limp Bizkit experience. Your responses were genuine, and we need to be happy about experiences that we are interested in that make other people happy. Hope that made sense. Just love people being happy in the world we live in. Hashtag new metal is back, baby. Hashtag hit the Nas. Hashtag Dean of New Metal. Matt, so,
It is a feeling that I have
mhm,
enjoyed soaking in
mhm,
from the moment we've had it and
mhm,
continue to enjoy the experience that we had there at Loserville 2024.
mhm,
And to hear many people through comments, through DMs, through texts express what we just read expressed feels really fucking good. And I appreciate, like, personally on this voyage with you, Lauren,
mhm.
across the new metal seas.
Yeah.
I've definitely grown, but I've not only grown in I enjoy heavy music way more than I've ever enjoyed it in my whole entire life. And I've come a long way in terms of like taste, but also just like as a person, and as a person, literally just
Mhm,
growing as a person to stop being so fucking judgmental and so like instantly
mhm,
that's not good. Duh, I know what's good.
mhm,
It's like, shut fuck off, Matt. Like, take it easy. And to see people genuinely clap for us at this point is an amazing feeling. Because if this was episode 3 of this show, I'd be like, fuck you. You know what I mean?
mhm,
Like, I don't think I would feel the same way. Like a lot of our listeners, you know, a lot of our listeners, they've been on the ride with us a
mhm,
very long time.
mhm,
You know, I mean, Jeremy Smith, I've heard the name mentioned on many a who's tweeting.
mhm.
You know, like this isn't a stranger to us. So it's fucking cool. That's all. I don't know. I don't want to be too maudlin, but I just appreciate it.
I like everybody who just supports us and the fact that we're just going to keep talking about the fact we met Fred Durst forever and ever. And, and then, I was telling the story to someone recently and they said, I was telling them what we talked about and how, Fred was like, hey, I'd like to come on the show. And that guy was like, is our friend Jake. And Jake goes, so when's he coming on the show? And I was like, that's the enthusiasm.
That's
That's
the
the
enthusiasm.
enthusiasm. That's the push I need. So, I mean, listen, are we going to try to get Fred on the show? Absolutely. Do we think we'll get Fred on the show? You know what? Absolutely. We're going to get him on. Listen, it doesn't matter he's in the middle of a tour. It doesn't matter that a movie is coming out in December that he has an appearance in. It doesn't matter that he's Fred Durst. He said it to me in casual conversation. Hey, why don't I come on the show? And I said, hey, let's make it happen. So, listen, a year ago, I had never been backstage at Limp Bizkit or met Fred Durst. And look at this, a year later, and I've done both. So anything is possible. So let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get Fred on the show.
It's true.
It's true. Thank you so much for all of that feedback, those DMs and emails. You can keep on emailing us at roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. And you can also slide into those DMs over on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Although I don't think anybody sent it a Twitter DM in years, but that's okay. Matt, we've talked about a little bit. We did an episode all about Loathe.
Sure did.
And, when we were recording it, I thought this is an album that people have been telling us to do forever. It will be greeted with open arms, love, and enjoyment. We love the record, and everyone else will. Wrong,
Wrong.
wrong. No. People had
Incorrect.
incorrect. People had opinions. First of all, though, we had a comment from frequent guest on the show and also hater of guests on our show, Joshua Toomey, who
Yeah, buddy.
said, "If only Liverpool was a hotbed for bands. If
Only.
only. If only."
Have you been re-listening to that Camel Fat song? Because I sure have.
Sure have, Matt. I listened
Really
to it the
good.
moment we were done recording that episode. I immediately listened to it in full and went, "It's pretty fucking
This
good."
is a good song.
No wonder the number
Probably one of the best bands to come out of Liverpool right here.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is why they're the
Next to
best band.
Loathe, I think this is
It's
probably it.
Loathe and Camel Fat. Yeah. Great work. Great work. So absolutely. Then we have a message from Aaron again from Watership Down. What do you have to say, Matt?
I think so, and they're definitely one of our favorite bands. Big inspiration. This is still my album of the decade so far. Glad you finally got to it.
Thank you, Aaron. Luke Demas says, I didn't hate this album, but I'd say I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as you guys. Matt, I appreciate that what you were saying about the guitar tones. As a guitar player, I kind of like it when the guitars sound like guitars. The way guitars get mixed and produced on these newer albums just sound so digital and processed that they start to lose their edge. It's cool for a minute, but after listening to it for multiple songs in a row, it just loses its edge. Like Matt said, maybe this speaks to a different generation that needs that sound, but for me, its appeal has already started to overstay its welcome. Shrug emoji.
No, I love this comment. I love this comment because there are newer guitar tones that I'm tired of. Like, I love our boy Will Putney, but like the 23 other producers trying to do the Will Putney sound is gotten a little tiresome.
Hmm.
Like it has made the guitar not I agree with what he's saying. Like I like when guitars sound like guitars. Like why do we love the fucking riff? You know? Like
Mhm,
why
right.
do we love it's because it's a riff. It's Wes, sure it has some stuff on it, but it's like the out of style riff is still very much a guitar.
Well,
It's not Pro Tools, it's a
as
fucking guitar.
as someone would point out to you, though, Matt, is that Wes Borland is also a man in his late 40s. And so he is raised on riffs.
Mhm.
And a lot of, let's just say it, Matt, we're guys in our 40s too. A lot of the kids these days, you know what they're raised on? Vibes,
True.
noises, you know? Like, listen, I heard a song with like a clear melody and chorus recently. It was like water in the middle of the desert. I was like, didn't know this still happened. Didn't know this
Yeah.
still happened. So yeah, so I definitely understand what Luke is talking about. David Boone said, "This has been one that I tried to listen to but never stuck until now. Holy hell, it rules so hard. Check out their live performances too. Had no idea two of them sang, but it makes so much sense. Also, man's rocking the baritone guitar. It's like a regular guitar, but long. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, wait a minute. You're telling me
That in all of your research in this band, you didn't realize he was playing a baritone guitar?
I'm just no, here's the thing, Matt. We've been talking so much about the number of strings on a guitar, but we've never talked about the fact that you could have longer strings on a longer guitar that apparently would give you a deeper tone. It's called a baritone guitar.
That's correct.
So I'm assuming it's giving you a longer fretboard
Yes,
and a longer neck
correct.
for you to strum and hold the strings and shred and do all those things you need to do, but make different noises. So we're dealing with, well, then here's a question. How many strings on a baritone guitar?
No, it's still 6. Still 6. Your normal guitar, you're gonna have 12 frets plus probably 2 or 3 extra frets. The baritone is going to give you 2 octaves on your fretboard. So that's 24 frets.
Now, another thing with a baritone guitar, though, since it is longer, You probably cannot be in an emo band with it because if you do a spin, you will decapitate the lead singer of the band. So that is the thing. You cannot do spins safely with a baritone guitar. They're just too long. They're
That is
just
true. It's
too long.
way too long.
When you buy a baritone guitar from a guitar center, they will tell you you have to sign a waiver saying you promise not to do any spins.
And
And
you say yes.
yeah, you say, listen, everyone says they won't do it. And then they go home or they go into a practice space and they're like, hey, I got to do this one. You got a new baritone guitar. And then somebody, usually the drummer, goes, I heard you're not supposed to spin with those. And they'll be like, shut up, Jim, you're a drummer. You don't know. And then, there's a little bit of tension. And they start into the first song and he gets a little cocky and he does the spin and that's it. Band's over because he's decapitated the lead singer. So
The
that's
worst thing that you could do.
the worst thing you can do in a band is decapitate the lead singer with your brand new baritone guitar that you told the guy at Guitar Center you weren't going to do a spin with. This is just a fact, and it's a reality that every baritone guitar owner has to live with. So right now, like the guy from Loathe Listening, and he's like, I can't spin with it. I want to keep this band going, and I don't want to cut anybody's head off. So thank you so much, David, for that comment. Matt, we got a comment from Alex.
Now wait a second. I'm super confused.
Mhm.
I th so I read the same thing that you read about baritone guitars because I really didn't know too much about a baritone guitar, and I thought the big difference is that the fretboard would be longer, which it is, but I did not realize that the amount of frets would be the same? So I guess it's just I don't understand guitars. I think that's, what you can come down to. Your boy don't get guitars.
Here's the thing just to remember, if you spin with it in your band, no matter how many frets are on it, you will be covered in blood. The blood of the innocent, because you have decapitated a member of your band.
Yeah.
No spins.
No spins. Just know this: baritone guitars are electric guitars with a longer scale length and heavier strings that are tuned like a standard guitar, but down. They are known as extended range instruments and are famous for creating a low, full sound. When choosing a baritone guitar, you consider things like the scale length, body type, neck type, pickups, and bridge. So, I mean, you know, classic guitar stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And at the end of every single one is, I don't know if I've left this part out, is a sword. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. That's why he keeps cutting everybody's head off. All right. Up next.
Ving Malmsteen with
Yeah. Up
a
next, Matt,
guitar.
we have a comment. It's from Alex Pozuelos.
This was a we have metalcore and Deftones at home situation. I don't know how you guys liked it so much. I went and listened to the album. It has its moments. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 10.
So I saw this and went, wow, is anyone going to agree with this? And then Brian Mills came in and says, I think a 4 is generous. I didn't
Whoa.
like this at all. I disliked it in a way that made me feel old, as I often caught myself saying, this is just noise. And the parts that were all right were just derivative of other better bands. I don't get it. Damn kids and their damn rock and roll.
Tip of the hat, Brian.
Tip of the hat to you, Brian. Matt, we got a comment from Ben Rice.
Apollo 440 is the best Liverpool band, and I thank you for recognizing that immediately.
Listen, Ben, it takes a special talent to hear Van Halen song and say, "What if I take
Hold
the
my beer.
to say, hold my beer. I'm going to take this whole song, but then I'm going to take out Diamond Dave, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of a drum loop on it, and then I'm going to go to bed." It's bold. It's bold. You appreciate that boldness. It's a boldness you only expect from a place like Liverpool, England. So, yeah, there you go. Mikey Hodge said, love this crash course in Liverpool music history. Mikey, you're welcome. That's right. We're a history pod now.
Absolutely. KRM comes in with love this album, equal parts beautiful and terrifying. I think it actually made me finally get Deftones and also understand what shoegaze is. LOL. Love that.
Love that. You're welcome. Philip Leiter said, the bands from Liverpool bit had me rolling. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Tom Lemke came in with I had two things I wanted to mention after listening to the episode. One, many Gundams fight in outer space, and that's practically like international waters. So I don't know if any laws regarding operating a mech while under the influence apply at all. Give those Gundams a Labatt.
All right. Check your Gundam, see if it's got a cup holder, because apparently drinks are on the house and they're also in the Gundam.
I will say that I made the picture for YouTube and I was like, AI see me through. And I was like, Gundam drinking a Labatt. And AI said, I'm sorry, we cannot do that because obviously it's copyrighted material. So I just went, mech drinking a beer. That it had no problems creating for me.
Wow.
Tom finishes with, since you guys, especially Matt, were getting so into the Deftones esque side of things, you should really check out Mood Ring. We just did, Tom.
We did. We just did. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Gareth Davies closes out here. He says, "Aren't Oasis a big Liverpool band? They're always saying classic Liverpool things like Boss, Fab, We Bairn, Sashnich. To be sure, and you've got a lot to learn about freight cars, Thomas. They are silly things and must be kept in their place. After pushing them about here for a few weeks, you'll know almost as much about them as Edward. Then you'll be a really useful engine."
Classic Liverpool.
That's what they talk about in Liverpool. Absolutely. These boys are mercurial AF. You try to pin a genre tag on them, and they dance up, pat you on the head, and then scoot off merrily shouting, "Gotta catch us." Love this one. Best album this decade, century, and millennium until proven otherwise. One of the
Wow.
reasons I love that new is because it bridges the gap between the pop music I was raised on, like those four mop tops from somewhere, Scunthorpe, Giggle Squick, Accrington Stanley, and the heavy shit I had to discover for myself. Top tier pop songs with heavy guitars and metal screens are my unicorn, and this album has at least four of them among a whole pocketful, no bag, of provocative genre deconstruction in our credits. Lauren Kozlowski, glad you can't say my own name. Lauren Kozlowski, glad you circled back. Matt Nas, welcome.
Thank you.
Also, you guys are weirdly part of my loathe journey. I was listening to the Wig Talk app, April Fool's Day 2020, and hearing you describing Greg Dooley as Lothario made me wonder if anyone had used Lothario as a band name. I typed it into Spotify, and up popped an album called I Let It In and It Took Everything, and I could not listen to an album called I Let It In and It Took Everything, so thank you.
Love that.
I love the journey there. Well done. Thank you for calling back all of those great bits. Much appreciated. And yeah, the moment I started reading that, I was like, this is some fucking Thomas the Train ass shit right here. I know this. I know that
Big,
anywhere.
big time.
Well, Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm sorry.
There we
Thomas
go.
the Tank Engine. Yes.
Fucking dare you. Dare you.
Listen. We're past that
Does
now.
your son even train?
We're done with that now. We're
Are
well
you
past that.
officially done with it?
We're oh yeah, we've been done with that for a while now. He
Rosemary, we had a friend over today,
uh-oh.
and the friend saw Thomas on the Amazon. I was like, "Ooh, Thomas the Train Engine," and Rosemary goes, "That's for babies." I was like, "I've skipped Thomas the Train Engine. Oh, thank God! Oh, thank
Matt,
God!"
the way you said that imagines her like, did she then take the friend's face and face palm it and then just slam it aside like for babies?
I did like his
Incredible.
response of like, "I like it," and then she didn't really have anything for that, which is like,
Oh wow.
she was like, "Well, we're still not watching
You're
it."
still not watching it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, right now we're deep in a Pokemon phase. So we're watching a lot of Pokemon, and I cannot tell. I was like, oh, this is the bad guy. And Ronan's like, no, they're just two people fighting with Pokemon, but they're not bad guys. And I was so
Two trainers,
confused.
baby.
Yeah, I was very confused, but then some other people showed up and I was like, "These are bad guys?" And he's like, "Sorta." And I was like, "I don't know." I couldn't be
What can
too
you do? What can you
yeah.
fucking do?
I tried to watch it and then I could
So
feel
bad.
my eyeballs were like, "What if I just went in backwards into your skull? Is that an option?" And I was like, "Don't do this to me, eyeballs. I need you. I need you to
Lauren, I'm
be
still
bigger."
playing Pokemon Go just because like it's fun from time to time.
Mhm.
I can't imagine watching the show. I'd be like, "Lef- Lord, take the wheel."
No, I think I've complained already about Detective Pokemon, the movie.
So
I
bad.
It's one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I was told by someone I trusted that it was actually not bad. and it would be a tolerable
Oh,
experience.
I have a bone to pick with you.
Uh-oh.
I watched The fucking Beekeeper, you son of a bitch.
Matt, The Beekeeper is a perfect film. I
Oh,
do
okay.
not know what your problem could possibly be with The Beekeeper. The
All right.
Beekeeper is airtight. I bought that movie for my father for Father's Day. I know what you're talking about.
Did he throw it back at you?
No, he was very happy, and I know he's gonna love it when he watches it. It's Jason Statham killing every single person he meets. What's the problem here? He fights a merc at the end who's got a robot leg. Matt, what's the problem with The Beekeeper?
Oh my god, it is the most trite piece of trash I've seen in a long time. I was very excited because at the beginning there is like some hellified kills, and I was like, all right, Lauren not steering me wrong. And then they keep up with this plot. Why? Why is this plot happening? Nobody cares about this plot. So much plot. And then some more plot. And then he kills some people. And I'm like, all right, I'm back into this movie. And then so much plot. Oh God, this plot is terrible. And then he ties somebody to a car and runs it off of a bridge. And I was like, okay, all right, that's better. But it was so hokey that I was like, I hate this. I'm gonna finish it, but this is
Wow.
terrible.
I don't recall as much plot as you're mentioning. I mean, I'm just thinking about like he goes to a gas station and a lady shows up with a Gatling gun on the top of her car and it's like, I'm gonna
Oh my
shoot you right
god.
now. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
god.
this is sick.
So awful. I was like,
Uh,
this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
uh,
This is Hitman the video game made into a movie. It was very dumb.
well, that's interesting because I've seen both Hitman movies, and this is definitely better than either of those. The second Hitman movie is, whew, that's a tough one. That one has a woman walk through the airport in real time, and I was like, are we doing this? Are we really doing this? Like, is it just a lady walking through an airport? Yeah. It was kind of, I thought she was like gonna check her bags. It was insane.
Yeah, in one of the Hitman game, you end up in a cemetery and like 7 nuns in latex show up. It is bonkers.
Let me tell you, the second Hitman movie could have used a bunch of scenes like that. I'll tell you that much.
Agree
Anyway,
to agree to disagree on the beekeeper, but
okay, that's fine. Listen, Matt, it's one of the biggest hits of the year, and it's going to sweep the Oscars. Okay.
sure.
Anyway, Matt, it's not an episode of Roach Coach if we don't talk about Chad Radical's Rippers for Roaches.
Let her rip.
Oh man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Matt is using a real piece of paper. I want everyone to know, and it sounds incredible. I love it. Matt, I know we've got a couple left here. Chad Radical's been sending us a lot of stuff from overseas, Russia, otherwise. What do we have this week?
This week, a band called Eths, ETHS, and a song called Prape. Gonna be my guess. It might be Priape. I don't know
Okay,
because I don't know what language this is.
let's do it.
Lot to like there.
Lots to like there. I looked this band up, Matt. They're from France.
Ah,
Yeah, that's right. Marseille, to be specific. Their
ooh.
their genre tags are metalcore, new metal, groove metal, and death metal. According to Wikipedia, they've basically broken up, but then they tend to get back together every now and again, it seems.
In
And
in Greek, Priape is the god of procreation.
oh
So
shit, Matt. This is a song about fucking?
that might be.
Oh my god. I've never heard a song about actually like wow, that's a first, right? I don't think we've ever encountered a song about sex before. Has that happened?
No, but I
No.
will say that there is a jockstrap company called Priape that
Oh,
I
okay.
found at jockstraps.com.
Jocks is that one of your top 25 websites, man?
Yep, yep. Forgot about that bit? Not us. Number 18,
I know
jockstrap.com.
top tier website. Check it out if you haven't been there. It tells you where to get your best in jockstrap and otherwise. Yeah, I enjoyed that a whole lot. Yeah,
Good stuff.
just
Good
good
stuff.
stuff. Just good stuff. The whispery vocal.
I love that stuff.
Once again, I guess I just have spiders on my mind because it once again was like I was like, it seems like she's like whispering it while like hanging off the side of the wall,
Mm.
before like the drop hits, something like that. But I enjoyed this a lot. Looking at their Wikipedia, they have 5 studio albums: Soma, Tetralogy, 3, Anka, And then the best of F's, which I think really means they just have 4 studio albums and then a best of. But yeah, well, interesting stuff. And thank you so much, Chad Radical, for sending it to us. This list is not done yet. Believe it or not, we have one song left on it.
Well, that makes me beg a question, Lauren. Do we have another playlist?
Matt, the answer is yes. There's always more list, baby. And if you
Always
have a list,
more.
you can certainly send it over to us. roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Send us your lists. Let us know what you got. You've heard, all the great lists that we've profiled in this show over the last 8 years. Send us over. Send us your rippers. Send us your crushers. Send us your rockers. Send us your lists. And that does bring us to the end of another episode of the Roach Coach Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Keep on saying hello to us online: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on all of those. Send us an email, roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, go to the Patreon, patreon.com/roachcoachpodcast. You get the pact every month. It's carrying
And if
on.
you join today, September 4th, the 5th is our monthly update, the state of the coach, where I come on, talk about what's happening in the world of Roach Coach, field any questions that come our way. And of course, our good friend Charles Minchin stops by and drops a few bars because that's just what we do. And it is what to be done. So
Absolutely.
come say hi tomorrow.
Come say hi. Absolutely. And come say hi. But right now, Matt, I have to say thank you.
Oh, Lauren, thank you. Roach
Roach
Riders
Riders
and
and
Indigo
Indigo Angels.
Angels. Thank
Thank you.
you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Roach, Roach Coach.
Podcast.
Hot all day. Every day. There's the Roach Coach.
Podcast.
All day, all day.